Hello, I'm Kitty and this is how you sew the dragonfly. So firstly, quickly, included in your kit you will find a sampler, and this sampler will teach you all the 4 different stitches that you need to make this kit, which is back stitch, whipped back stitch, chain stitch and satin stitch. So if you don't know those stitches, or there's 1 or 2 that you're not 100% sure on, I've made another video to teach them to you. And that video also goes through the basic fundamentals of sewing, like how to start your piece, how to finish your piece, how to make a knot, all of that kind of thing. So if you're a beginner or if you're a bit rusty, I would recommend going back, watching that video and then coming back here. The sampler also comes in a hoop, and you have 2 needles, 1 small and 1 big. There is also a cheat sheet, and this on one side has got a diagram of your piece and instructions for each segment of the piece, so you don't have to keep coming back and watching this video. And it has the colours and the stitches. And then on the back it has just some tips and tricks here and a key. And this key corresponds with your threads. You will also get 1 other bobbin of thread which will have tester on it, and this thread is to complete your sampler. Don't do your sampler with any of these threads that have got the colour names on them, otherwise you're not going to have enough thread to complete your piece. You also have a needle threader. Instructions on how to use this are in the other video. Just a little tip for this: by their nature these needle threaders are quite flimsy because they're just a very small piece of wire. So when you're using them, hold them here instead of down here. And you also have your pattern, which is, mine's a bit wrinkled, yours won't be. This is printed on linen, and this is what you're going to be sewing on. You will also need scissors. I think I'm going to structure this video in a slightly different way than I normally do. Usually I do the sort of different chapters of the video by stitches, so I show you all of the back stitch, then all of the whip back stitch, then all of the chain stitch and all of the satin stitch, because usually it doesn't really matter what order you stitch in. Whereas for this, because there's quite a lot of outline and then filling, it does make a difference what order you do what bits in. You can do it really obviously in any way you want, but it will make it easier usually to do the outline first and then to fill it in. So I'm just going to go through each element of the piece and tell you how to do that. So the borders, the writing, the flowers and the dragonflies. It doesn't matter at all what order you do those elements in. So I am going to start with the marigolds. They're quite straightforward. They are a mix of back stitch, which is the outline of the flowers themselves, whipped back stitch, which is the stem, and satin stitch for the leaves. You want to first secure your fabric in your hoop. And tighten it. So I am going to start with the flower heads. So I'm going to get my olive thread. I'm going to take sort of 30-40 centimeters, cut it, and always remember to split your thread. Make a knot and thread your needle. I'm using the small needle here. To be honest, I actually use the small needle for everything because I just feel like it gives you more control, but some people don't like to use the bigger needle. So, really easy. You just want to start with some back stitch. This is really the simplest stitch. The only thing to remember here is that these black lines are digitally printed on, they are not washable off like a lot of embroidery kits. So if you don't sew on top of them, you will be able to see them at the end, which doesn't really make a huge difference if there's just a little bit of black showing, and in fact there always is, no one will see, but you just want to remember to stay on top of the lines and keep your stitches, because it's curved, keep your stitches relatively small. And so on. You would just go all the way around with your olive, and once you've finished, you have to tie your piece off. So just a couple of little stitches there, and a cut. And then you want to go in with your yellow, and this is going to be in satin stitch. So to colour in the petals, it's very simple. You just start at the end like that, make one long stitch, start in the middle, and then move your way out. So here, and then start here maybe, and I'll maybe do one more starting here, just wherever you see a gap, make another little stitch. So one more time, I'll start at the longest bit, like that, and you just go all the way around, and obviously add in this inner circle of yellow as well in backstitch. So that is how you do the flower heads. For the stems, it is just a simple line of whipped backstitch, which you will know from your sampler, and I will just show you now how to do the leaves. So the leaves are also in satin stitch. They're a little bit trickier than this kind of satin stitch because there is no outline, so you have to be more careful about where you put your stitches. But I would also say that things always look worse when you're zoomed in, and actually when you take a step back, people can't really see mistakes. So these leaves are split into two. The bit closest to the flower is always yellow and the bottom bit is green. So you just make your stitches, and the thing about satin stitch is that you always need to go in the same direction. So just go. Definitely don't try and fill the leaves in with big long stitches down here, because they'll become loose. You want to go across. And the other thing to remember is you want to bring your needle up on the outside of the black line instead of on the inside, because otherwise you'll see the black line. Now the tricky bit with these leaves are the very end pointy bits, because you have to do tiny little stitches, and obviously at some point you're going to have to stop doing one colour and just continue with another colour. So it's up to you, just do whatever colour you do first. So with yellow, you just want to go all the way to the end of the leaf with very small little stitches. Until you get to the end. Like that. And then you just go back and do the other half in the green. So that's the flowers. They're quite straightforward to do and they're quite relaxing, maybe quite a good one to start off with. So the next thing I'll show you is the writing. The writing is in plum. The writing is a mix of satin stitch for the big D here and back stitch for the rest of the letters. The only thing to remember for the big D is that you, like the leaves, you really don't want to do long satin stitches down here because they'll be really loose and they'll come out and it will look untidy. You want to do short stitches horizontally down here. I've given you guidelines to help you know where to stitch, so I would recommend, and what I've done is do this line all the way down here and then finished it, and then done this line round here. So do it in two, because if you're trying to go round like that, it will get complicated. You just want to start here. Okay, this is a knot. This is probably a good learning moment. You will get many knots in your time sewing this piece, and the key is to be relaxed in dealing with it. So get a needle. I've got another needle here, and you want to just try and work it out like that. If you get cross and pull it, there, it will get more jammed. So always just use a needle and deal with it that way. Like that, and then you just go round here as well. For the letters, it's a really simple back stitch. My only recommendation would be to do super small stitches because there are lots of little curves, so it just eventually makes the writing more legible. And it just makes it easier to follow the lines as well. So that's the only thing to remember, is just to stay small. Like that, and then you just continue throughout all the letters. There are two things to watch out for with the dragonflies, and the first one is the eyes. Now the eyes are in satin stitch, but satin stitching a circle is often quite tricky. The middle bit's fine, but when you get to the edges it often gets quite messy and the circle kind of loses its shape. So you want to do it in a wheel. You can see that on each one of the eyes I've given you a dot, and you're going to use that as your continuous point to bring your needle up through. So start in the middle, come up through the middle of the eye, and you want to basically split it into quarters. And then you want to split those segments in half again, and at this point I'm going to start coming from the outside of the circle rather than the inside, because the back's going to get quite thick. And then from here you just want to find any gaps that you have in your circle and just fill them in, basically always aiming for this middle point where the dot was. And there is an eye. The dragonfly body is just really simple satin stitch like we did for the D or the leaves. You just alternate light blue, dark blue all down the body. Now the most fiddly, tricky bit probably of the whole piece is the wings. The wings are a mixture of whipped backstitch and backstitch. The whipped backstitch is for the outline, and then the backstitch is for the little lines inside the wing. It's only fiddly basically because it's all quite small. So for the whipped backstitch, you start with a line of backstitch. You go to the end here. I would really recommend doing the outline of whipped backstitch first before you do the inside lines. It's going to make it much easier. So then you come out and you want to go around and whip your stitches. So just get your needle, and it doesn't matter which way, as long as you're going in the same direction, you just want to pass your needle through the stitches to make a sort of thick white line. And that is the outline of the wing. And then for your little inside wing lines, the tricky bit is coming up in the right place and not coming through this line. So just really take your time when you're coming up and make each line, just do it as one single stitch. There's no need to do two. And come up through. If you don't get them totally bang on the lines, no one will see. Like if you look at mine here, they are not even, but I feel like it just adds to the charm. And there we go, and then you just repeat that all the way through. Now the borders are the last bit, and they are really straightforward. So for these corner shapes, tridents I've called them on the cheat sheet. I don't know what the name for the shape is. It's a mixture of backstitch and satin stitch, and it's basically just exactly the same as the petals. So start off with an outline of backstitch, and then you want to fill it in the green. Just again, not making long stitches down there, but going across like this. I always start at the widest point and then move down to the tips. Then for the outer border, it's a whipped backstitch, again with the dark blue and the green. So start off with a line of backstitch, and for this your stitches can be a little bit longer than when you're doing these complicated shapes. So not a centimetre, but not tiny. So you start off with your dark blue or green, it doesn't matter which, and then you come in with your other colour and whip your stitches, which makes this stripe. And then finally your inner border is chain stitch in the yellow, and you'll know chain stitch from the sampler, and because it's just a straight line you shouldn't have too many problems. The only thing with chain stitch that I would recommend is going quite slowly, because if you accidentally snag something, like if you sort of come up through here or come up halfway through here and you get a knot, you kind of have to unpick the whole thing and start again. It's quite tricky to unpick, so just go really slowly. And make sure you've got enough thread to keep going. If your thread's running out, start another piece of thread sooner rather than later. Etc. So hopefully that's given you all you need to know to sew the dragonfly. If you have any questions or I've forgotten to say something, just get in touch and I will help you. Once you finish your piece, you can either mount it like this and frame it, or you can make it into a cushion. All of the details of that are on my website. So I really hope you enjoy it, and happy stitching.